Hey there, guys. Welcome to week 6 of the school year. So going back to last week, I had you guys dive into the Triangle Shirtwaist Fire. Hopefully you realize the significance of that fire, and how it relates to the Progressive Era. Quite simply put, the Shirtwaist Fire caused workplace reforms, safety codes, things like that, things that we take for granted. If you walk around your buildings between Ruston, East, and Henderson, you'll notice multiple fire exits, doors that open outward, so on and so forth. So there's a lot of safety codes in place as a result of that fire. As tragic as it was, at least some positives came out. This week, we're going to continue with the Progressive Era, and we're going to focus on two different groups, women and African Americans. The assignments are pretty light, being that we're off on Thursday, so I'm trying to account for that. But one of which you'll be looking at the textbook using the PDF. I attached the PDF of the chapter there for you to use again, so you don't have to go back digging and looking for it. So use the PDF. Do not go to Google. If you go to Google, you're going to get lost. And for the second assignment, you're going to look at African Americans during the Progressive Era. So two things here. Number one, with women. Women gained the right to vote during this time period with the 19th Amendment. Let me share with you my screen here. Hopefully you're seeing my screen with women gaining rights. And ultimately, guys, there's a bunch of different players that you're going to read about. When I say players, different influential women in the Progressive Era during this time. Some of these names you may have seen before: Alice Paul, Jane Addams. There's a bunch, but either way, the overall goal is to get you to understand that each of these women had different ways of achieving the same goal, which is ultimately gaining equal rights for women and gaining the right to vote. Suffrage, not suffering. They aren't suffering, but they're asking for suffrage, which means the right to vote. So you'll see a bunch of these different women. The temperance movement is also part of this. When you hear temperance, think of banning alcohol. Really, that's what they were all for. They felt as though alcohol was damaging families and the relationships of those families, and thought it was an ill of society. So they pushed to prohibit alcohol, which they achieved with the 18th Amendment. Ultimately, they achieved their goal of voting with the passage of the 19th Amendment. Easy way to remember that is the proposal was sent to Congress in 1919. So the 19th Amendment gives women the right to vote in 1919. They actually gained it in 1920. The amendment was finally ratified, but it's an easy way to remember it. So again, there's a bunch of things to look at here. Carrie Chapman Catt, a bunch of the different women that were part of this push for equal rights for women to vote. So you're going to be diving into that. Also this week, you'll be looking at, like I said, African Americans and their struggle for equality during this time period. In particular, you have three of the major players: Marcus Garvey, Booker T. Washington, and W.E.B. Du Bois. Sorry, my brain went blank there. W.E.B. Du Bois. All three of them have different approaches to gaining equality. The simplest way to remember it is Du Bois was really asking for equality now. He's one of the founders of the NAACP. Booker T. Washington is the first African American to dine at the White House. He actually ate dinner with Roosevelt. And Washington was more gaining equal rights. His approach to gaining equal rights was through education and building up African Americans in society through hard work, and eventually would gain those rights and respect. Garvey, on the other hand, was completely opposite of those guys, and Garvey wanted to just take everyone and create their own separate communities. In fact, he even pushed for going back to Africa. So there's an article that you're going to read that kind of outlines the differences in their philosophies and their approaches to give us a sense of where we were at in terms of equality for African Americans during the Progressive Era. So it should be easy enough. If you have questions, as always, email me. A few of you, as I thought might happen, are falling behind, and I haven't heard from you. So if you continue to ghost and not respond, those assignments will stay in as zeros. So hopefully the flow of the course is manageable for you. If you're struggling with the workload or you're having tech issues, shoot me an email. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next week.